If y'all followed me for quite some time, y'all probably have heard me mention a place in Kentucky called Owsley County. What you're looking at right here is the typical picture of a home or a house in Owsley County, Kentucky. And I've talked about them whenever I felt the need to give this topic a discussion that I'm bringing to you right now. If you haven't heard, recently 45 said, I think it was a few days ago, that they needed to do something about the food stamps and the government assistance, and saying how it is a drain or a stain on the economy. I mean, I think every president has said something like that, but every president, and just like I think 45 will, not do a damn thing about it. But let's just say that he succeeds and he actually does something about it. Exactly who will be targeted because of this? Now, I bring up Owsley County because Owsley County is considered to be the food stamp capital of America via the U.S. Maybe America, maybe a combination of all three countries within the continent. It is the poorest. Let me repeat. And you can go and look this up if you want to, if you don't believe me. Owsley County, Kentucky is the poorest county in the U.S. They have a very low population rate. They have little to no jobs. As a matter of fact, I looked up the history of Owsley County. They were never really well off to do and haven't been good or at least decent since the 50s. That means for damn near 60 or a little over 60 years, Owsley County, Kentucky has been a trailer trash town. And you can go online and look up Owsley County, Kentucky, and look at their images and look at how run down those people look. But the way the media paints it, you would swear up and down that it's black people that are the biggest recipients of welfare, when that is definitely not the case. This entire county would make any hood in America look like the suburbs. That's how poor it is. You can even go online on YouTube and look up Owsley County, and they've done documentaries about it. And that way you can get an actual visual of what this town really is like or all about. Is not much there at all. Nothing to run home about. And then to add insult to injury when they talk about black people being the biggest recipients of welfare, I've done a couple videos on my live channel, on my old channel, where probably one where it talked about the Jews in New Jersey, I believe it was, who committed welfare fraud. Basically, they were taking advantage of the system of government assistance and stealing money when that could have gone to the people who may have actually needed it. When it comes to welfare fraud, look up who leads in that. It's mostly white people who identify as being Jewish. They commit some of the highest forms of welfare fraud ever. I'm talking about stealing millions of dollars from the government, from the welfare program. Black people can't hold a candle to that. But because a lot of black people live in close proximity with other black people, for the most part, they go off of what the media tells them. And it's a brainwashing technique that I'm so glad that I've distanced myself away from. But I would just like to know who is 45 talking to when he talks about he's going to try and cut down or end the food stamp welfare program. Because I have a feeling that he's not talking about white people or the people in Owsley County. He's most likely talking about black people. But see, here's the thing. If you end it for black people, you're going to have to end it across the board. Because if you don't, it will expose what we already know, that you are showing favoritism to a particular group of people. And what's so crazy is that about Owsley County is Not only are they the poorest state, not only are they the welfare capital of the establishment, but they are also majority Republican, right-wing leaning people. Meaning they all vote against their own economic interests. That's most likely why this county has been in disarray for over 60 years. Because they are that stupid. But like I say with my heroin videos, I feel absolutely, positively nothing for them. Because these are the same group of people who probably think they are better off than you and I who live pretty decent and pretty well. I forgot what president said. They said if you can convince the poorest white person that they're better than the well-off-to-do black person, then you got them. They told white people this who are dirt poor. They told them this. I know they had to hear it. I don't know if it's something disconnecting in their brain, but they shouldn't have taken that as a compliment. That was an insult. An insult because they basically saying that white people who are that poor don't need to put, quote unquote, pull themselves up by their bootstraps. All they have to do is just be there, be white, and that's it. And that would be good enough for them. And automatically that would make them better. Richard Spencer kind of leaned toward the same thing. I believe it was something to the effect of because he may try to put white people into a whole completely victimized box. Like they went through so much shit, which we really know they did not, but they put our ancestors through a lot of shit and still do to this day. And might I add that Richard Spencer has not earned anything that he has. That farmland or whatever his parents have, that was stolen from black people. And the thing is, one thing I can say about him is he's very honest. Like I said, I like my races overt out in the open. I don't like to have to try to guess if you're racist or not. But I believe he said something to the effect of that basically white people shouldn't have to really work hard and anything like that. He feels that being white is enough. That's why I said I appreciate his honesty, because not many white people are going to say that out loud. That's probably why some white people don't like him, because he's exposing who they are, but they don't want to be exposed. I wouldn't be surprised if Richard Spencer collects welfare or if he's or government assistance his damn self. A lot of wealthy people, believe it or not, do collect on government assistance. They'll never tell you. But a lot of them do because they don't want to spend their own money. Now that's some crazy shit. Especially a lot of white wealthy celebrities or entertainers or who have a lot of money, billionaires, some of them do use welfare, even though they have millions, sometimes billions of dollars in the bank, and they use the government's money to fund whatever it is they need to be funded, whether it's a charity or buying a home or a car or any type of luxury vacation, any of that. Food. So they could try to save as much money as possible. Now we know which ones don't abuse the welfare system, the ones who probably filed for bankruptcy. Those are the ones we know for a fact used their money, but they used it recklessly. Many of them didn't invest or anything of that nature. But that's really all I have to say as it pertains to this. Y'all let me know what you think down in the comments. Like, share, subscribe. The links will be in the description. Have your notifications turned on.